Welcome to the top of the morning show. It is your girl TT from the D. Happy Wednesday, everybody. I hope that you are off to a great morning, whether you had your cup of coffee, tea, milk, water, libation, mimosa, wherever you are in the world, whatever you're doing. You can be on your way to the airport. It is 6 o'clock in the morning, right? You could just be sitting there, just got through having your prayer time, whatever that looks like for you. I'm just excited that you chose to listen. And if you caught the show later after 6 o'clock this morning, great. It's all good. That's the beautiful thing about podcasting. Yesterday, we talked about several different types of relationships. Today, we're going to talk about what does a healthy relationship look like to you? What does it consist of? We're going to take a few looks at a few things that are on the list that I think all relationships should have. You may agree, you may not disagree. You may disagree. I don't know. Several things, right? We're going to talk about trust, being an individual, time together, time apart, keeping it spunky, energetic, intimacy, conflict resolution, and communication. Not in that order, and not necessarily with those actual terms, but we're going to kind of unpack that this morning. The number one for me is communication. You might say, well, shit, trust should come first. If we communicate, trust falls in those lines, in my mind, in my opinion. In a healthy relationship, you must be able to communicate. You have to be able to understand how to check the temperature and gauge the temperature of your partner. Because sometimes you're going to have those hard conversations. And if you live together, or, married or cohabitating, those sometimes can be difficult because you got to be in that same space. And sometimes they're not easy conversations to have. Understanding that you all are together, but you don't see everything eye to eye and equally. No one does. Setting boundaries and respectful boundaries that allows you to listen without judgment and not judge without listening. And it's a two-way street. I say that all the time. When one is talking, the other one should be listening, not double dutching to jump in to cut them off or to plead their case. It's so important that we understand that everybody deserves to be heard because we each have a voice. Let's talk about trust. Now, integrity is huge to me, like trust is in communication. But integrity and trust kind of goes hand in hand to bring forth that honesty. If you go in, and I learned this phrase a long time ago, over 25 years ago, shoot straight from the hip, you ain't got to worry about it. If I come to you and just let you know it is what it is, not with that boldness, like I'm going to do what I want to do, how I want to do it, because I ain't say doing it like that. Be respectful. But don't beat around the bush. And before things can get to the point where it feels like, oh, you should have been and had a conversation, that would go back with the first one, communication. You unhappy, things seem to be dwindling, the flame is like filtering out, you don't feel that connection, whatever it is, you need to have already been having conversations. Not hinting around, but just asking, is everything okay? Because I feel a disconnect or a shift in our relationship. Honest, real conversation. But this also means that your partner must feel safe with you, and you must feel safe with your partner. Because sometimes you're dealing with somebody who's emotionally unstable, and that would make you be like, oh, I don't want to say that to her because, oh, I don't want to say that to him because you know your person. And I know you got their best interest at heart, but being honest, open, respectful is the best way always. There is no shifting that at all. Now, some of us be in relationships that we get lost. You love her. You love him. That you and lost yourself. You want to be everything she wants you to be. But who are you? You want to be everything that he wants you to be. But who are you? In other words, they have to balance each other out. You can't want to be more of something that you're not for somebody than you are for yourself. Period. You got to love yourself. You got to approve of yourself. You got to respect yourself in order to love that other person. Being something you're not can lead you down a road you don't want to travel. You don't want to become interdependent on anybody for anything. You want to be interdependent in a positive way with mutual respect while you still support one another. And that also means that you still got your friends outside of your relationship. Even if you got mutual friends, y'all still got your friends. You do you and things like that. She needs her space to do what she needs to do as a woman. He needs his space to do what he needs to do as a man. So just as much as we love them girl trips, fellas need the guy trips as well. I love that my husband goes off every now and then with a few good guys. And they have a great time. I go off every now and then with a group of amazing women, and we have a great time. And I go off often with my husband, and we have a great time. But you see that? We have our individual time and our collective together time. It's so important. Now, physical intimacy, is a big part of any relationship. But you gotta get to the same page. You want to make sure that your needs are met as close to balanced out as possible. And sometimes he might want it and you ain't in the mood, ladies. And sometimes she might want it, and fellas, you ain't in the mood. What do you do when you're there? You don't want to go straight to having sex. You want a little foreplay, right? You want to be intimate, a little kissing and fondling and cuddling and holding, and you get that. Because there's different types of intimacy. The overall thing is that you're bonding and connecting. And being physical helps you feel comfortable and relieve stress, right? Anxieties. What you don't want to do is pressure your partner about sex or specific things you want as sex. Like, okay, let's just say this. I know a couple that were out with a couple of couples. There was a couple of us out. And one of the partners made the other partner feel uncomfortable by sharing the lack of things that was going on in their sexual relationship. And I found it disrespectful. I was embarrassed for them. And I was like, I can't even fathom my husband treating me like that. We get into it for sure. But let's just say you don't have oral sex and you want that, and maybe your partner don't like performing it or getting it. Either way. And if they be like, "Nah, I don't want to," how you gonna get mad? But unfortunately, some people do. You have to have your boundaries. You have to know, like, okay, some things might work, some things may not work. I might be into this, I might not be into this. You got to know. And it's a hard conversation. But that goes back to communication, as I said earlier. Then you want to learn when you get into those gray areas, how do I close it down? Learning how to resolve issues. You work together to support each other. It's called conflict resolution. Some people know about it, some people don't. I'm not saying that we all do, but it's healthy to have skills to allow you to do what you need to do when you need to do it and how you need to do it. No relationship is perfect. Let's be clear. You're going to have disagreements. It's all about what do you do when you're in that window of disagreeing. When you're feeling frustrated, when you're feeling pissed off, when you're feeling bunched up with anxiety. Do you know how to walk away? Do you say, hey, let's take a pause? I don't want this to get out of hand. We're both not seeing eye to eye right now. I think we should revisit that. That's mature. When your significant other does that or says that, take heed. Don't be the chaser for negativity. Okay? Well, I know it was a little heavy this morning, but we had to talk about what we had to talk about, sir ma'ams. Right? We are at hump day. I am looking forward to this weekend. It's going to be an amazing weekend. I'm on my way. I'll be going to cover the makeup show. I got my media pass stuff lined up, ready to rock and roll. I'll be going out there with the team and doing some great things. So until the next time we leave footprints across the sun, it is your girl TT from the D, and I will see you soon.